Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is going to be your daily cryptocurrency market update, and we're going to be looking at Bitcoin's most recent price action. We'll be using a nice clean chart, so we'll be getting rid of everything that we currently have on the chart. Just to stress this again, I think people are still way too bearish on Bitcoin. I ultimately think that you are going to stand a very good chance of seeing 40k plus this year. And I do expect a new trend. I don't think you're going to revisit 15k. We can look at where that may become a more probable outcome. But I think the more probable outcome for me is that Bitcoin's going to see more continuation to the upside. And that this is just a pullback, and actually not just a pullback, but one that should have been expected with this 30k level of resistance, which we'll talk about. So we'll talk about the most recent price action for Bitcoin. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and use another chart. But I also want to talk about a number of other things, because honestly, this week was probably one of the most confirming weeks that I've had in the crypto space in regards to the kind of vision that crypto really is going to become the next big thing. And it has everything to do with the hearing that Gary Gensler was subject to, where you had members of Congress essentially, or members in this hearing basically call out Gary Gensler and say what he's doing is massively hindering the US in this technological advancement. And I think this was just unbelievably positive. We'll look at a few more things. Remember what's really going on here. Bitcoin crypto is at a very, very early stage of adoption. And ultimately, this is your bull case. That crypto, which Wells Fargo, we've seen all the major banks call it, is on a similar trajectory to the internet. And you are only at the start of that, guys. And actually, right now, I think cryptos are not at too much of a bad price. I also want to play this clip again, guys. But let's start with some technicals. So first of all, nice big key round number of 30k, just like you had at 25. You should have, and we did say on this channel, even though we are bullish, you're going to get pullbacks along the way. If you weren't looking at this resistance, what happens at resistance? You usually get rejected. This is key resistance that everybody should have expected. It was a very bullish feel leading into this, so you always get the kind of, it might just smash through. However, this should have absolutely been expected as resistance. Once you get past 30k, by the way, guys, it is full send for crypto. I mean, this level, once it gets taken, I do believe it will. And if your real invalidation point for where you need to start to worry is if you run your 25k neckline. Ultimately we have targets 35k and 40 and above. But it's not just going to be a green candle up there. You're going to have to do similar thing to everyone flip bearish over here. You're going to have to sort of grind your way up and work your way into it. And you've ran into actually this price action here was very low in terms of volume, and above it is as well. But this is your first real block of volume that you've got, and should have always been treated as resistance. And that's exactly what it's proven to be. You've had a pullback from it. It was the sniper, actually. And there's a lot of pre-warnings to this that was actually pointing out maybe you've got some sort of a ascending structure that you've potentially broken. So you've got some kind of a impulsive up, not impulsive, sorry. You've got 3 impulse rising wedge going into 30k should have given you a little bit more confluence. We did point out this key level, or this price action, that I actually didn't think you'd smash through like you have of here. This kind of build up that led you to the upside. I actually thought this would act as a little bit more support. It hasn't. Let's maybe drop down to the 4 hourly so we can see that a little bit clearer. And ultimately you're now rolling to the downside. So you don't want to break this 25k, or you can put a toe below it but deviate above it. You don't want to stay below it, because that puts into question the whole inverse head and shoulders that gives us those upside targets. Now, you're going to get a lot of people worried. Even a test of 25k and then a revisit up. That's still a bullish scenario in my opinion, broadly. You know, people are way too bearish. Same people are claiming victory literally now, having been bearish from 15K and only recently just flipped bearish, down here. You guys will know we got out of the market here and got back in here. And ultimately, we stick to the bull scenario until there's reason not to. And we've sort of shown you technically what that is. So for me, this is just a pullback. I still believe it's healthy. And I still believe that it's going to resolve to the upside. And I think it's interesting how we had this unbelievably bullish week, and we're going to play this clip now, where you saw Gensler basically just get accused of hindering an industry that the US want to see or want to be a part of. It was, I've been in crypto long enough to have not been able to see this coming, and it's here, guys. The fact that you have lawmakers representing crypto in this manner, I think, is one of the most bullish things for me that I've witnessed during my entire career in this industry. So let's go ahead and play the clip, and then we'll round off with a couple of other things. You know, really talk about, you know, Metcalfe's law. It's why I'm a little bit more bullish on, or I am more bullish on smart contract cryptos. I think once they start getting used, they will overtake Bitcoin massively. And users are what, you know, I think many of these blockchains' true value is, just like Amazon and the internet. You know, it's very comparable. And then we'll maybe round off with a little bit of sort of macro. This is from Balaji. We can't trust the banks. That's why we need Bitcoin. I think the Silicon Valley Bank failing has really played into everything. But let's play the clip, guys, and then continue with the video.
Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess of the committee at any time. This hearing is entitled Oversight of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days within which to submit extraneous materials to the chair for inclusion in the record. And I'll now recognize myself for 4 minutes for the purposes of an opening statement. Chair Gensler, we welcome you before the committee. As you can see, we're under new management and a new Congress, so please get comfortable. We expect to get through a lot today. So let's get started with digital assets. Under your leadership, the Securities and Exchange Commission has brought nearly 50 separate enforcement actions against digital asset firms. And now your agency is requesting an additional $78 million to expand your enforcement agenda. At the same time, you've refused to provide clarity on whether digital assets offered as part of an investment contract are subject to securities laws. And, more importantly, how these firms should comply with those laws. You're punishing digital asset firms for allegedly not adhering to the law when they don't know it will apply to them. It's nonsensical. The administration said it, the Fed has said it, and I'll say it again. Congress must provide clear rules of the road for the digital asset ecosystem because the regulators cannot agree. Regulation by enforcement is not sufficient nor sustainable. Your approach is driving innovation overseas and endangering American competitiveness. The ranking member and I have worked for more than a year on this issue, and we'll continue to work this Congress. But let me be clear. Our goal is to make law. We expect you to play a constructive role in that process. Now, next up, we'll discuss your overly aggressive and very expensive rulemaking agenda.
Yeah, so it's just, for me, this was just so bullish. I think crypto sold off because of this key technical level that it's ran into. But ultimately, guys, don't lose sight of really what's going on here. You know, the blockchain industry is on the precipice of mainstream adoption. It really is. You know, we don't even have clear regulations on it yet. That is coming. UK said they've got that coming in 12 months. US, Gary getting bullied and really slapped about like the something he is. You know, it's unbelievably bullish what's happening right now. And really, for a long-term trajectory, which is why I've got confidence in the fact that, you know, I'm back in the markets. It's always been the game. Selling back in March last year was always only to buy back at a lower price, and we've done that. And ultimately, you know, this is really what's going on here. and it's a matter of time before it comes true. I honestly think that blockchain, we're already seeing it, is going to replace many, many industries out there. It's going to make a lot of industries more efficient. And some of these layer ones and layer twos that we see today are going to be the very thing that fuels that. And you're going to be using blockchain in the future in the same way that we're using a computer right now. You've got a phone, and you drive a car, all technological advancements that come before. So the real question now then is, well, what happens? And what happens is going to be the market's shown you its hand. It's sold off at 30k. The real question is what kind of price action do you now get? And what you're looking for is support and a move to the upside. You take this 30k level, guys. Everyone's now bullish, and the market goes into full send. And this is where the FOMO really kicks in my opinion. I think you're going to get to 35k. It's not going to be a straight candle. Then 40, and then we'll look to the upside. Broadly, really, what I think is going on here for crypto is this. And of course, you're going to have, peaks and troughs in that, but I do think it will get there. All I've got for you in this video, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, like as always, appreciate it. So as a comment, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next.